Hello everybody, my name is Deb Romy. I'm here to do my presentation for Foundations of Education. The topic that I've chosen is regarding absenteeism. I practiced this all day today and unfortunately I'm not having any luck getting this PowerPoint to show up on my computer screen. So I'm going to go ahead and just read through each slide with you, and then when I'm finished I will go ahead and do a quick video just through the slide so you can at least see that, because it kind of helps to see the words on paper versus just me reading them. The topic I've chosen is absenteeism. It definitely does matter in education. This report is basically some ideas of what absenteeism is, what's considered poor attendance, chronic absenteeism, truancy, a few ideas of how to combat it, as well as the reasons behind it. The ABCs of dropping out. They are attendance, behavior, and coursework. Attendance is regarding excused and unexcused absences resulting in chronic absenteeism. Behavior is OSS, ISS, detentions, ODR, and citizenship grades. Coursework is basically stating that if you're behind in third grade reading, math, and ELA failures in middle school, any course failure in ninth grade, 20% more students are likely to drop out. What is chronic absenteeism? Chronic absenteeism is being chronically absent, meaning a student is missing 10% more of school for both excused and unexcused reasons. This puts the student at a higher risk of not graduating high school and possibly becoming a high school dropout. Attendance rates tell how many students show up each day. Chronic absenteeism rates tell which students don't show up. I've included down in here a statute from the Kansas Board of Education. I will quick read it to you. It says it's basically regarding the rules of children attending school in the state of Kansas. It says, whenever a child is required by law to attend school and is enrolled in school, and the child is inexcusably absent therefrom on either 3 consecutive school days, or 5 days of school in any semester, or 7 school days in any school year, whichever of the foregoing occurs first, the child shall be considered to not be attending school as required by the law. A child is inexcusably absent from school if the child is absent therefrom all or a significant part of a school day without a valid excuse acceptable to the school employee designated by the Board of Education to have responsibility for the school attendance of the child. How are attendance rates and chronic absenteeism related? Attendance rate and chronic absenteeism are not inversely related. Attendance rates tell how many students show up each day. Chronic absentee rates show which students do not show up each day. The attendance rate is the average daily attendance / average daily membership of a school or district. The chronic absenteeism rate, which now must be reported, is the percentage of students in a school that miss more than 10% of the instructional time for any reason, excused or inexcused. Myths about chronic absenteeism. One myth is absences are only a problem if they're unexcused. That is completely not true. Sporadic absences are not a problem. Also not true. Attendance only matters in only grades. Attendance matters from preschool through college, and it also overflows into your work, into a job. Statistics have shown that students who set a pattern of missing a lot of school, preschool and kindergarten, they are more likely to miss school in their higher years, and they are at a higher rate of dropout. Missing 10% more of instructional days can translate into third graders unable to master reading, sixth graders failing subjects, and ninth graders dropping out of high school. Some things that schools can do to increase attendance include monitor the data, create a school team that regularly reviews attendance to identify the trends in absences and possible barriers to attendance, engage students and parents, create a school climate that encourages students to come to school every day, create a welcoming culture of attendance, and provide activities that engage students and families. Recognize good and improved attendance. Provide personalized early outreach. Make sure that every absence is accounted for and develop a multi-tiered approach to intervention. Make sure that you identify and remove all of the barriers to attendance. Work with your staff, your students, parents, and your community partners to address the barriers to attendance that are unique for your school and or your district. Identifying that a student is chronically absent is only the first step, however. After we know which students are missing school, we must find out the root cause of why they're missing so much school. And we must put in place some interventions to address the root cause. The focus must be on changing the behavior, not simply punishing the student for missing school. Some barriers for lack of attendance include lack of access to health or dental care, chronic illness, trauma, no safe path to school, poor transportation, housing instability, involvement with child welfare or juvenile justice systems. Aversion is also another reason why kids do not attend school. Some examples of aversion are that the student is struggling academically or socially. He or she is experiencing bullying. There is ineffective or exclusionary school discipline. Parents have had a negative school experience and relayed that downward towards their children with all of their negative experiences. And there could be an undiagnosed disability that the child has. Disengagement is another group of reasons children miss school. Some examples of disengagement include lack of energy and culturally relevant instruction, no meaningful relationships with adults in school, vulnerable to being with peers out of school versus in school, poor school climate, discouraged due to lack of credits. I'd kind of like to touch on the first one regarding the lack of engaging in culturally relevant instruction. I believe that is really, really important in the world we live in today with the diverseness of the kids in a classroom. I think we have to focus on the culture of each child that we have and build our curriculum, our projects, our activities around the culturally diverse students to include them in the classroom. I think that is probably one big challenge right now for teachers, especially when you've been brought up in a white community, you've never been around any other different cultures. You really have a lot to learn, as well as the students do also. Okay, that's the end of my PowerPoint. This information on here was taken from the Kansas State Department of Education website. I have also attached to the end of it the gentleman who created this newsletter. I went ahead and changed some things, put it into this PowerPoint. His name is John Girodot. He is the education program consultant, and I have also included his phone number on here. A couple questions that I kind of like to address that I thought were really interesting when I was doing research for this was regarding what a leading medical cause is for children and adolescents in the United States to miss school, work, or whatever. This is absolutely one of the leading causes of absenteeism in the school system. And I'm guessing probably nobody can guess what the medical illness is, but it's asthma. Asthma in a classroom of 30. Asthma patients in a classroom of 30 students is equivalent to 3 on the basically a general level. That's a lot, and asthma is a very serious medical condition and can come on like this and can last for days if the proper medical treatment isn't given, especially if the child gets home and doesn't have anybody there to care for him 100%. He definitely can miss a lot of school due to that health issue. The other question I thought of that would be really interesting to address would be truancy. What is truancy? Truancy is basically, as the Kansas statute states here in this presentation, it is being absent without excuses for a significant portion of the school day, for 3 consecutive days or 5 days a semester or 7 days in a school year. After this time, a parent is contacted. They will be given a warning. After the warning, if it happens again, parents can be fined starting at $50 if this continues to happen. Some states, they can do jail time. They can be arrested, charged with a misdemeanor, and then possibly do up to 60 or 90 days in jail. Students who are truant a lot and who don't want to get their parents in trouble and are over 16 a lot of times, depending on the family situation at home, if they are 16 or over, they can drop out of high school. So that's why it's important to deal with absenteeism at an early age and make it a priority in all of our school systems. All right, that's all I have for my verbal presentation. I'm going to take my phone now and put it back on my computer and go through the slides so you guys can all look at those. And I've also will attach it, the PowerPoint document, onto the thread here in this discussion board. Thank you.